Hello, people of YouTube.
Hello.
I am American McGee.
Martin.
And we have been gone for, what is it, 3 weeks now?
Probably about, just under a month.
Where'd you go, Font Lord? Did you go back to Castle Font Lord?
I did. I went back to my castle with all of my font servants, serving up fonts on silver platters.
Wow, are those
and the like.
Sans servants, or are they
I don't know. But I went back to merry old England for Christmas.
That's good. And you survived the trip. You were actually a little bit nervous about... You have a kind of travel anxiety.
It's I get anxiety over stuff that I haven't done frequently. When I'm out of practice, I kind of worry about stuff. So, but everything was fine.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the travel, the flights, going home. It was all good in the hood.
Well, that's good. And I went off to Thailand, where this kind of thing was not necessary at all. It was a balmy 95 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 34 degrees Celsius the entire time. Blue sky, sunshine.
So more than double what our thermometer is reading now.
Yeah, it's a little bit cold in the underground layer today.
Is.
It's very cold, actually.
15.1 degrees.
Well, thank you all for... yes. 15.1 Celsius. We do use the metric system here in China. So, welcome back, all of you, insane children and woodies. Apparently, woodies means something to you Brits that's not terribly...
Doesn't it mean something to everyone? It's a little risque.
Not sure. Well, anyway, so woodies, welcome to you.
That's why I always liked in the Out of the Wood updates when we started with morning woodies.
Yeah, I think we knew what we were doing there. So we are coming to you today with lots of updates. We are going to talk about Out of the Woods, which is now shipped out successfully to thousands of backers around the world. What else are we talking about?
Ooh, what else? I'm sure we're going to talk about Thailand a little bit.
We're going to talk about Thailand.
Probably going to talk about rabbits and Patreon, I guess.
There's a bunch of rabbits floating around here. Lulu has been eyeing them greedily, wanting to gnaw and chew on them.
And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about Alice.
There's a bit of Alice art to look at, yes. Well, let's take care of Derpy Horse. He's gonna have to have the first super chat of 2019, and he's gonna bring up Hamill as Alice.
It's almost a year old.
This meme.
Can you imagine that?
This meme that really should have died. Maybe we should send this off to PewDiePie, and then he can kill it in meme review. Meme review. Hamill is Alice. Okay, done. It's over. Ooh. Killed it. But thank you for the first super chat of 2019, Derpy Horse Productions, and yeah, that's your meme. Meme it like you mean it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Out of the Woods.
All right.
These are images that have come to us from around the world, our woodies, who have received their games, their books, their playmats, their little white rabbit plush doll cards.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
But not art prints.
What's going on with the art prints?
They're getting shipped separately because they're coming from a different place, i.e. us. So, yes, we will be dealing with them shortly. So if there are any woodies in the chat wondering where your print is, we haven't forgotten. We're getting to it.
Basically, we need to ship them out of the studio here in Shanghai. Are we signing them? Am I signing those prints?
We would have to check what
did we promise?
Yeah, we'd have to have a look. See what that said.
Yeah, I can't really remember, but we will be getting those sent out of the studio here, hopefully this week and next.
Yeah, we've got a lot to catch up on.
We do. So if you did back and you have received all your rewards, but not your art print yet, then art prints are on the way.
Yeah. Hold tight.
And do we have questions from woodies about the game? I know there was one thing we did very poorly with regards to the instructions, and that was we didn't explain what you do when you don't have a card to play. Somehow, this most basic of rules we neglected. And what do you do, Font Lord? when you don't have a card to play?
You can actually pick at any point you like, even if you have a card to play. If you don't want to play it, you can pick from the deck.
Pull another card.
Yeah.
Right.
Pick. And somebody asked, if the game goes on for a while and the deck is gone, you can just pick up the played cards, give them a shuffle, use that as your deck.
I'm not sure how we neglected to include that in the instructions, but we did. We did everything else, and of course there's a very nice instruction sheet in there, but that sort of very basic rule concept we didn't put in there. Yeah. But I think overall, though, we're pretty happy with the way that this Kickstarter turned out. This was nearly 4,000 people around the world that backed Out of the Woods, and then we had hundreds more pre-orders via BaackerKit, and now we're selling it over on Mysterious. And we got one thing really wrong, and that was the shipping date.
No. Did we get that wrong?
We were off by about a year.
Did we get that wrong by a year?
We got it way off by a year. But I think with regards to everything else that we did for this campaign, we've tried really hard. Not only did we hit our sort of delivery goals, we produced everything we said we were going to produce, and I think the quality, most people would argue the quality of the thing that we produced matched with the expectation that was set in the campaign. If we had delivered on time, then I don't know where else we sort of went drastically wrong. Of course, there are some people, their stuff gets damaged on the way, but we are replacing those things as need be. And so I think we feel pretty proud about what we accomplished. And of course, recently I've now talked to or posted up on Kickstarter about what might be the next Kickstarter campaign, and that would be to do another card set, but perhaps like tarot playing cards, and base those on this artwork that we've been doing from Alice. So here we have Bumby as the devil, and people are really liking this artwork. I think a tarot card set based on Alice would be very well received, and so we are asking people who participated in Out of the Woods to come along and fill in their comments here on what we might learn from this project and how we might improve a new project if we were to do one. We did have a super chat go by here. In and Out is back. Didn't In and Out go a bit bonkers last time?
Yes.
It's funny because you don't normally want to complain about super chats because they do equal Lulu treats. But
In and Out was the one that wouldn't let us leave.
That's correct.
Kept asking questions.
That's right. So this could be a very long stream if In and Out does his or her thing again.
Can we know a little bit more about Martin? Ooh, okay. How do I know American? What is my involvement in Alice? I seem cool. Well, thank you.
Wow, Martin, you seem cool.
I seem cool.
But he's not.
No American from Spicy Horse. Started there 2012, I believe. Something like that. So, guess that means I've known you for more than 6 years.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
And we're not getting any younger.
We're not.
Not at all.
We frequently joke about ourselves when we look at ourselves on OBS before starting the stream.
Two old white dudes.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us go.
But hey, don't just leave this to the kids.
No, we've still got stuff to offer.
To a point. But it seems like people are interested in the idea of the tarot cards as a Kickstarter.
Right. So is that what you were talking about?
That is what I was talking about.
Dashed upstairs.
And I think we'll have to continue exploring this. So if you are over on Kickstarter or you're on Patreon or you want to leave some comments below this video later on, if you want this, smash like. Let us know. Hit like. Smash that like button if you want Alice tarot cards. Wow. That way.
You sound hip.
I've been watching PewDiePie too much recently.
Right. Is that what he says?
I don't know. They all say that.
Oh, okay.
It's like if you want something, if you think something, if you are something, if you like this meme, Smash like. So anyway, smash like if you want an Alice tarot card.
I think it would do well. As you know, I've been sort of juggling some numbers around.
Yep.
In our Excel sheet. You know, it's quite a complicated Excel sheet, but it looks like it should be a workable project.
Well, I think this is one of the things that if you look at a Kickstarter, and Exploding Kittens was a fairly famous one of these, where there was an article written about the Kickstarter after they raised like $7 or $8 million, and it said they're not actually going to make that much money. And the same was true for us with Out of the Woods. At the moment that the project funded successfully on Kickstarter, we were just barely in the black. When you took into account all the pre-production costs, the marketing costs, the manufacturing and shipping, all of these things, we just barely cleared the financial hurdle necessary to bring the whole thing to life and deliver as per our promises. And I think that a lot of people just don't realize how it's not the manufacturing that's necessarily expensive. It's the shipping. Shipping is insanely expensive, and we just spent
$70,000 at least.
At least $70,000 just shipping product. That's a big chunk.
It is.
So when we talk about doing this tarot card set, you have a couple pieces involved. Obviously, the artwork, the design, the layout of the product itself, but you also have to take into account this massive chunk that just grows the more successful the campaign is, which is shipping.
Yes, but hopefully our sheet is now pretty good for this. Since we did the Out of the Woods Kickstarter, I have refined and jiggled around with that sheet because it wasn't perfect.
Yep.
But it should be pretty accurate now.
Well, we screwed up a bit on the first sheet for Out of the Woods, and we didn't realize how badly we'd screwed up until after we closed the campaign, and then saw that if we hadn't gone over to the degree we had, we would have been in the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It's been fixed.
It's been fixed.
Yeah, during the Out of the Woods, that sheet, it went through a few revisions.
It went through a lot of revisions.
And on one of those revisions, shipping was taken out.
Or it was done it was messed with in a way that screwed up the final, what we thought
it was
the
on
cost
one
would be.
side, but then when we changed it, it didn't go onto the other side. And yeah. So thank God we went over as much as we did.
Well,
anyway,
two more super chats here.
Lesson learned. Lilium West. Thank you for the super chat. I absolutely love the idea of an Alice tarot deck. Much love from Canada. Thank you for that. Yeah, excellent. That's another tick in the I want a tarot deck.
Smash like.
Smash like. Smash brothers. Smash mouth. In and out. Again, thank you. You guys have an exceptional memory. I promise I won't keep you guys from leaving this time. Still can't believe you guys remember that. We're not that old. It only happened like a month or so ago.
It really wasn't that long ago. I think that was the last or the next to last stream.
But, yeah, we remember, when stuff happens.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. So one of the other questions we've had about Out of the Woods is in relation to the instructions. And people would like PDF copies of the instructions. So if you are out there looking for PDF instructions that you can download and print and zoom in on and things like that, then head over to the Kickstarter page. And if you click on the update from January 4th, you will see that there are links to the English, French, Italian, German, Spanish eFigs, as we say in the industry, the eFigs instruction sheets. And so you can download those and print them and
complain about how badly they've been translated.
Yeah, I mean, we did. We got some comments where people said that the translations were poop.
Some people.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't really know how to respond to that, mate. Were they being picky? Are they really poop? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we did ask the community to help us with the translations, and so maybe we just picked people who were terrible at translations.
I don't know.
Don't know. But anyway, if you want a terribly translated instruction sheet, this is the link to hit, and you can download that and marvel at how badly translated those instructions are.
Woo!
Woohoo! There you go. Yeah, so the instruction sheets, I think that was the other big question for Out of the Woods. Did you have anything else related to Out of the Woods?
No, Ina asked the question about the PDF, which you just covered. The rest of the stuff on my list seems to be about Alice and rabbits.
Cool.
Although there was a comment here from Movurio. They would want to buy the French tarot game.
All right.
Don't know how that is different from normal tarot.
I think the point there, French tarot is sort of like playing cards, which are also tarot cards. So you can double as. You put the numbers on the tarot cards so they can be dealt, and you could play poker with tarot cards. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I often am. Speaking of wrong, this is something that happened that was fun.
What's this? I don't recognize this box.
We don't know what this is, but in the process of shipping 3,000, 4,000 things around the world, our guys, I mean, first of all, they did a good job. They put them in these heavy-duty plastic bags, and then they put them in some bubble wrap, and then they put them in a box. But this is not our product. So
yeah,
for some reason, they shipped this strange, not our box, to one of our Kickstarter backers.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? You get that. And it actually, the label says Out of the Woods on it. So when he opened this up, it's just like, what's this? What's this? Why? And we wrote to the shipping company, and they're kind of terrible sometimes. They'll try to blame it on us. It always amazes me how they'll stretch to try to blame their shipping of a random wooden box on us, and then you think, no, I don't buy that. I don't think we made you do that. Anyway,
we have a super chat that I don't know if I can answer. IP freely. What is my favorite Eric Clapton song? Don't really listen to Eric Clapton. Name some songs.
So mine would be Beautiful Tonight.
All right.
Yeah, it's late in the evening. That song, you know.
I
You
know.
look beautiful tonight. I also quite like I Shot the Sheriff. It's got a nice kind of reggae beat to it. Cocaine.
Did he do Tears in Heaven?
Tears in Heaven was in response to the death of his son, who apparently fell off a hotel balcony in the UK. Tears in Heaven.
Sorry, don't really have a favorite.
Yeah.
But at least you've learned that I'm not a big Eric Clapton fan.
And that I could name 3 instantly. I do like his music. Yeah. What was in that box? We have no idea. It's very strange. It was just a weird box.
Maybe it was one of our wooden boxes.
No.
In the box.
Oh, maybe. Could be. It was a very weird one. This happens, though. So, that's it for Out of the Woods. Now, as many of you know, I recently traveled to Thailand. This is a plane landing in, I think, Bangkok. There's Alexander. Alexander's
Hi,
a
Alex.
Russian. He's very grumpy about everything all the time. If you've ever read any Russian, like Nabokov or Tolstoy or any of these like guys who write these giant tomes, where the basic Russian novel premise is to ask a very simple question and then spend 3,000 pages trying to figure out how to answer it, which is basically Alexander. Now he's going to be the CTO of a new game studio, which is the reason why we went to Bangkok. This is Sukrit. He's our Thai business partner, and he would be business development and management. And so we went to Bangkok, and we went around meeting with potential outsource art and game production studios. And then we also met with government agencies that are essentially, their mission in life is to attract foreign or other types of tech business into Thailand. Now, historically, this has been incredibly difficult because Thailand's regulations with regards to foreign corporations is that they must be minority owned by foreigners.
Okay.
That means that if you start up a Thai corporation, 51%, the controlling interest, has to be owned by a Thai national.
Gotcha.
And the same thing goes for trying to own property and all kinds of other. But they're just now. There's some. This is the. I think this is the guy that did the French.
It is.
Okay.
Cubertoid,
So we've got two. First off, IP freely. Why does an American think it's weird that Martin doesn't like Eric Clapton? Because I think Martin has terrible taste in most things. He doesn't listen to good music or eat good food.
I do.
What's your favorite salad, Martin?
Meat.
All right. So
Cubertoid. Bad review for French instructions. I'm stressed now.
I don't think it was for the French. It was for Italian and Spanish.
Spanish?
It was Italian and Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no need to be stressed. I don't think anybody has dissed French just yet.
I don't think so. I don't think that the French version or the English version.
English should be fine, apart from that missing rule.
Well, that was, because that goes through Alex, and Alex Crowley, our one of our artists. He's very particular about writing stuff out and making it really good. So, yep.
He likes to flourish up his language when
He likes
he's writing.
to flourish up everything.
He does.
He does. So anyway, IP
Freely.
I think it's okay if Martin doesn't like Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a bad review for the French instructions, so no worries.
I wonder if the Spanish and Italian
like this one.
translators are in here.
This is some obvious trolling. Eric Clapton isn't even that good as a guitarist. Okay, those are fighting words. We're going to have a chat fight very soon here. Anyway, so back to Thailand. This was an outsourced studio in Bangkok. Yeah, apparently that's a Nordic sort of god of...
It's the world tree.
The world tree, yeah.
Also the name of the ship in Final Fantasy VII.
That's correct. So, this is their office. Very nice office, in fact.
Nice.
And it reminded me quite a bit of our Spicy Horse offices.
Is that like a cafe in the office?
It's their first floor lobby / cafe. And so they've done this whole concrete treatment all over everything. And I really liked these guys. This is the game they made called Home Sweet Home, which you can actually go and grab on the Steam store. Anyway, they're big Alice fans, and they kind of rolled out the red carpet. Look, he's being grumpy. Why are we here? So they rolled out the red carpet, and they really, I think, want to work on Alice, and that's good. We noticed that wherever we went, whoever we met, people are very interested in the Alice IP and working on the game. We actually had assets in Madness Returns produced in Thailand last time around. Ooh. Not a ton, but some.
Right.
Yeah. So this was a whole sort of review tour of their operations. So this is something you do when you're going out to find partners to work with, is you go tour their facilities and you talk about their capabilities. And one of the things that I found about Thailand is that it's still very much a sort of garage industry. So these guys have a really big space. They're probably the largest outsourcer in Thailand. But that being said, there were not a ton of people in this office.
Right.
And at the same time, they said they could push a button and they could grow almost immediately to 50 or 100 plus more people. And we heard this again and again, that a lot of 3D artists, a lot of artists in Thailand work from home. They're freelancers, but then these larger companies can pull them all up and form up a larger team when necessary, which in some ways kind of reminds me of how China was when we first came here 15 years ago. It hadn't yet been consolidated. And so I think Thailand, this is one of the reasons. Hey, look, there's my shirt. This is one of the reasons. Is that a stain? Look, I've got a stain on my shirt. What's going on? God, I'm such a slob. This is an excellent.
I'm glad you left this video in.
Yeah. Let's just hope I didn't leave it on for anything embarrassing.
Let's hope.
But yeah, I think the state Thailand is in terms of industry now is they're prepping to grow. So that means that they're opening up the regulations, the requirements for ownership on the corporations, and of course you get these studios like this that are becoming much more modern, and they're trying to face towards Western products.
Excellent.
So it's a good opportunity.
We had some super chats come in. Ray Weatherford. Are you getting delay now?
Massive.
It's making it really hard to speak.
Yeah, we'll try.
I'm interrupting myself in my head.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Ray. American, did you like the music video I share with you on Facebook?
You know, Ray, I think we've talked about these things before. I don't always see all the stuff that comes in on Facebook and Twitter, so I apologize. But there are literally hundreds of messages flooding across the various platforms, and especially when I'm in Thailand and I'm traveling, I'm not always able to check that stuff.
Keep up to date.
What's going on in the chat that's uncomfortable?
I don't know, but I'm going to take these off.
All right.
Because it's driving me bonkers.
Right. So here's another one. The Marquise de Greaves. I wanted you to know I respect you two a lot, and I am moved by your life's journey, American. Thank you for sharing your travels and life. Opa.
Opa.
Well, thank you very much, Marquise. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah. But what is going on in the chat? What are people weirding out about? What's happening?
I'm not really sure. People are saying, "What are you doing? Should be in the game." I don't know.
Everyone, be nice.
Yeah, don't grief each other. That's not why we're here. So anyway, back to Bangkok. So this is one of the studios, big outsource studios. Tons of people, authorized personnel only.
Ooh.
This is a pretty cool office, and these guys are doing some pretty nice work.
That guy isn't.
I'm
staring at you.
This is something I want to say, but I'm loath to say, because it can be taken and interpreted the wrong way. But based on my experience in China, the Thai outsourcers have a sort of attention to detail that I think comes to them more naturally, kind of creative bent that when we were first setting up shop in China was actually fairly hard to find. And so I think that's one of the things that about Thailand that I think as an industry and as they grow into making games, they may find there's less of a challenge in sort of reaching that creative bar as opposed to where China was, say, 15 years ago. I think that was a big challenge for everyone who came over here to make games, was that just the idea of like creating surreal art. No one really knew what surrealism was or is.
Just stick an eye on everything.
Well, that was what we found, was if you asked them to make something surreal, they'd just plop an eye on it. There you go, it's surreal now. So yeah. So this is Bangkok at night. Like the song One Night in Bangkok, we went to an absolutely awful restaurant at the top of that very tall building. Sucrit felt really embarrassed about that. It was sort of like a pay one price buffet type of thing, and they're mainly selling the view, definitely not the food.
Right.
So anyway, it was kind of interesting.
Ooh. Was that the height? 47 floors?
It was way up there. You would have freaked the fuck out. Oh, sorry, you would have freaked the F out.
Maybe. Cubatoy, £2 super chat. Thank you for that. Just £2 for the relief and treats. I guess you mean the relief that your translation wasn't poop.
That's good. Well, thank you for the translation there, Cubatoy. And
wherever Lulu is, we'll enjoy the treats.
yes, she will enjoy the treats. So after Bangkok, we then went down to a place called Sriracha, which if any of you like spicy Thai food, you'll know that there is a bottle with a rooster on it. In the US, we refer to that as rooster sauce. It turns out that rooster sauce comes from, and its Thai name is Sriracha sauce. That's a place. Sriracha is a place in Thailand where that sauce originates. And so we went down there and we inspected kind of like their version of a tech park. Oh, but this was prior to that. This was going into the digital economy promotion agency. This was crazy. So this is the Bangkok government building.
Right.
And every department, so it's the Department of Land, and they've got their Department of Tax Revenue and Department of Water and Department of their space agency is in here. Look at this. It's the Office of Consumer Protection, and it's the Bangkok whatever. I mean, so it turns out there are about 50,000 people who go to work in this building every day.
Right.
It's insane. And it's got its own shopping mall and food courts and places to get...
I was going to say, is that like a shopping mall on the ground floor in this government building?
Well, it makes sense because the place is so big that once you go in there, you don't want to come out. So they had like nail salons, and they have places where you can go get a haircut and you can get a suit made. It's like full-blown, like a little city unto itself, which, I mean, if you think about it, if 50,000 people go to work in this building every day, you don't really want them having to go outside to then get lunch or get their hair cut or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it was like not something I had expected or seen, but we were going to visit these guys. This is the Digital Economy Promotion Agency, DEPA. And so their goal is to bring people in who do anything related to media, digital, games, you name it, right? So we met with professor, assistant, doctor, something. I mean, they all have these incredibly long and interesting titles. Look at Alex.
He's thinking about how to rig the next election.
It's great. Yeah, he's like, I could be spending my time to get Trump elected again. That was Mr. Eddie sitting there next to Alexander. Now, Mr. Eddie is completely different from Alexander in the fact that Mr. Eddie, like me, is a dreamer. So he doesn't take no for an answer. And he just sees positive, good stuff everywhere that we go.
Okay, sorry. Sean Carey, thank you for the super chat. How come nothing was done for the 25th anniversary of Doom? I was hoping the founders would get together for some sort of remembrance.
Well, I think John Romero released a level pack called Sigil.
I remember something happening.
Yeah, and I mean, there was all kinds of, congratulations and yay, 25 years stuff over on Twitter and Facebook. As far as trying to get everyone together, you have to keep in mind everyone's in really far-flung places. So John Carmack lives in California, works for Facebook. Romero is off in Galway, Scotland.
Is he?
Yeah. I'm here in China. Tim Willits is living in his own ego, way up there in a place where he's now claimed that he's produced everything that was ever related to Doom or Quake.
Wow.
Including coming up with the concept of BSP trees. I think he actually created that idea, and then he brought that into the game space and made it so 3D gaming as a whole exists as a thing now. So
he sounds ace. Let's get him on board for
Alice.
Alice.
He's basically the best. He's absolutely the best. So yeah, I think it's difficult to try to pull all those people together into one place. I mean, we kind of chat a little bit. We talk a little bit, but yeah, what are you gonna do? So Ladycroft here says, I believe Reznor is releasing the Doom soundtrack on vinyl soon. It's actually the Quake soundtrack, and yes, they are, and yes, I wrote liner notes for that as well. So there is some stuff coming out, but anyway.
So something did happen for the 25th.
Things happened, for sure. But thank you for the super chat, Sean Carey, and sorry if you were disappointed that there wasn't some sort of remembrance. It is 25 years ago. That's a long time ago. Galway in Ireland. There you go. Well, that's where Romero now resides.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But now we don't want to go to Ireland because it's cold and dreary and foggy there. We want to go here. This is Thailand, sunny. Oh no! Wait, I don't really like this. What's happening?
Look how cheery Thailand makes people.
No, this is horrible. Alexander. He's living in Crimea, and it's like he has to go back home, and it's minus 20 degrees. And it doesn't matter on what scale you put that. It sucks. Anyway, so Mr. Eddie was showing us around. This is the tech park. There's not really much going on here, but the whole point is if you locate your business in the tech park, you can receive tax benefits, and you can receive the option to start your company as a wholly foreign-owned entity, which means you don't have to have a Thai partner. But basically what we'd end up doing is putting our registered office in this location. But as you can see, there's like nothing here. There's no shopping mall. There's nowhere to get your nails done. So we would have a little closet of an office here, but then our actual office would not be in this park. And that sounds strange, but that's exactly how it was in China 15, 20 years ago. You could start a company as a foreigner, but you could only do it within these tech parks. But so what we would do is we'd have our office registered in the tech park, but our actual physical location was not in the tech park, right? So this is kind of, I think a lot of people don't understand in a lot of these economies before they really open up to the rest of the world. There's a lot of restrictions that they try to keep foreigners. They don't want foreign competition in the market. They don't want foreigners competing for buying houses or for starting businesses. So there's a lot of protectionism that goes on in places like Thailand, Vietnam, you name it. But slowly but surely they're opening up. That was weird. We went and visited this Muay Thai studio. And one of the reasons was that we were talking about creating this studio in Thailand as an attraction. So these guys have a Muay Thai studio in Pattaya, which is quite famous. Fairtex. I don't know if any of you are like punchy kicky people, but if you are a punchy kicky person and you know anything about Muay Thai, you probably know about Fairtex. Anyway, they as a brand, why we went to talk with them is that they have, this is actually instead of this giant 5-star hotel, downstairs is a big gym where you can go learn how to punch and kick things, and they also sell all kinds of equipment. And it turns out that most of their revenue is generated by selling their equipment, like punching bags and gloves and what is it? Do you have like foot gloves? Do you wear like gloves? I don't know.
Shoes.
They kick each other a lot, so I just thought maybe they would put gloves on their feet.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. They don't put gloves on their feet.
Ray Weatherford, thank you for the super chat. No biggie on the video share on Facebook. Just glad to see you well in the new year. Here's lunch.
Thank you, Ray, for the lunch. We really
what are we
appreciate
doing for
that.
lunch?
I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet. It's cold outside. We're going to eat Lulu.
Pizza delivery.
I had pizza for dinner last night. So anyway, that was the kind of reason for going to this Muay Thai studio is that I had the idea, and Eddie here had the idea, so he's a dreamer, that we would actually start a studio in Thailand that obviously serves the purpose of being a place where we make games, but also is a retreat for fans. And they can go there and they can basically feel like they are in Wonderland. And there'd be places, obviously huts and villas and stuff that they could stay in and swimming and massage, but also maybe sort of creepy woods that you can go explore around inside of, or sort of a Cheshire Cat cave, that kind of thing. So, this is still an idea that's semi-forming, but if you look at some of the... He's never happy. But if you look at some of this, right, if you can imagine that like we had a studio that was in a place that looked like that looks like a chunk out of Wonderland, right?
I'd want to work there.
Anybody would want to work there, but also I think our fans would want to visit there. And of course, we could then integrate the merchandise and we could integrate the kind of storytelling to the environment. So that is what we're talking about in terms of go to Thailand, this is in Pattaya, but I don't like downtown Pattaya. It's a really disgusting place. But go outside of Pattaya, and this is what we were doing here. We were going to look at locations where we could potentially have office / I don't know if you want to call it a theme park, but anyway, an office / attraction. So we looked at a lot of different options. This was kind of weird. It was like a retirement village, but incredibly cheap, to set up there. And it's got all the amenities and all the services. And like, you just don't have to worry about anything because they take care of it all, right? So you can imagine that we'd have ourselves like both working and living in spaces like this. But this didn't really have the right vibe. I don't know.
It looks nice though.
It looks nice and it would be comfortable to live there. But in terms of the vibe of the studio and of like a place that fans would come to visit, maybe not exactly right. Although it's got a swimming pool. Yeah. There's grass. It's nice. There's trees. It's very Wonderlandy.
We have missed something.
Have we?
Yes. Somebody in the chat, don't remember who, says we have missed competition.
I forgot all about competition.
What are we like?
Oh boy. All right, contest time, says Blade. Blade, you're not even... You said to me on Twitter that you're broke and you're not giving us any super chats, so why are you...
Is Nightbot up and running? It should be.
I don't think Nightbot is up and running. I haven't seen any...
No, check the other... We've got 2 Chrome tabs open.
So what are we giving away?
Good point.
So what are we giving away?
Nightbot. What have we got on the table?
You can give away a plush rabbit. We've got hundreds, thousands of those. You could give away
patches.
What do you guys want? What do you guys want?
Alice on Elm Street. Please, dear God, make the Wonderland Resort. I will move in.
That's,
there you go.
Well, I mean, this is kind of what we're thinking. So, one of the proposals that I have in my mind for why this studio makes sense is that we would be saying to game developers, come work on a project and then you can retire into Thailand. And in retirement, you can become a person who helps to elevate the ability and the knowledge of the local economy with regards to games. Because there's a lot of people in the US like me. I mean, think like it's been 25 years since Doom. A lot of people are getting ready to retire, but a lot of people have also like built up a whole thing, gotten married, had kids, and then got divorced and someone took half their stuff. And now they're like turning 50 and they're stuck in the US and the job market for them maybe isn't all that great because they're getting too old. Sala wants us to give away cocaine as a prize.
We're all out.
Sorry, Martin did all of it. No.
Let's just do patches for the first one.
All right. We're going to do...
But yeah, we need Nightbot to populate.
Patches. So you guys need to spam the chat with what you want us to give away. They all want a bunny.
Tough.
Why don't we give away these bunnies, though? And then we can tell them that they need to post up pictures of them. And that way we get some marketing out of it.
Maybe.
You want to do that?
Could do.
Go on. Let me
have
that.
The first stream of 2019.
This is a big prize. I mean, and by the way, if you win this prize, it's going to come in that bag that Martin has neglected to pick up. These are what we're trying to work towards for our Patreon goal. Right now, we need 3,222 patrons. You can sign up for $1 a month to help us hit that goal, and then we're going to start sending these out as patron rewards. Anyway, so we'll give this away as the prize right now.
Okay.
But this isn't working. Nightbot isn't working.
Yeah.
So
what's going on? Let's do it. Let's do the first one manually.
How are you going to do that?
Well, I'll close my eyes. You jiggle the chat up and down, and I'll point. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
I'm jiggling. Point.
Get on.
Why did you have to pick Sala?
Damn it. Salah.
Oh, no. Terrible, Martin. He's not even serious about anything. He's saying we should give away cocaine. I'm just going to type this in there. There you go.
Hey.
Way to go, Martin.
You jiggled the chat wrong.
Anyway, I wouldn't have picked you, Sala. I'm just telling you. You got to write that down. And Sala, you got to do the thing. You got to send a email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com, and then you've got to let us know your mailing address, your phone number, name, all that stuff. Make sure you do it in a format that doesn't cause me any sort of grief. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you your prize. So
there we go.
It seems Nightbot is broken.
You need to.
You got to join channel.
That should work.
Now it says Nightbot is joining the channel. Okay,
it'll work for the next
Let's
one.
get back to this. So anyway, Sala, you won the rabbit. Damn it.
Well done, you.
I don't think you really deserve it, but you can have it. Emily.
Mimnor. Emily Mimnor. Thank you for the super chat. Rabbit, please. Well, we did. We did a rabbit giveaway. Just a note to say thank you for all your hard work with the Alice games.
Well, thank you very much, Emily, for your support and the kind comment. That is very much appreciated. Somebody wanted us to give away Martin's face for the prize, but we gave away the rabbit, and Sala
instead.
Sala won it despite all of his nonsense comments. Congratulations, Sala.
See, it shows that even silly people can win sometimes.
Well, when you're being Nightbot. So this is this was not option one. This is one of the first places we looked at for a potential Wonderland studio / resort. And yeah, this idea started to kind of grow on me while we were there, like going and no. So we were all happy and smiling and like, look, we could build things here and we could do stuff. But what came next was actually funnier because, and this was cool. This has got like gym and it's got all kinds of stuff. But so then we went and looked at another space. This is like all under construction. And I think at this point I asked Alexander sort of what's going on. Let me see. And there, I was like, what is it? He said it's hot and I have been traveling too much.
Was it hot?
It's Thailand. It's always hot. Look.
What's hot for Thailand?
35 degrees. Yeah, he's grumbling all the time. We did get him to laugh by the end of the trip. So anyway, this is another kind of space that we thought, yeah, you could have fans come out. They could stay in this this kind of villa thing.
Mad grass.
I mean, these places are beautiful. So if you can imagine that we have this as a studio, some of these spaces, and then we also have some of these spaces as places that fans can come out and stay, and they can participate in development, and they can have some sort of Wonderlandy experience. So that's some of the idea we're working on. But, you know, again, Thailand, you can see, obviously lends itself very well to the whole Wonderland vibe.
Look at it go.
Yeah. So that was kind of nicely put together. This was going to meet with the mayor of Pattaya. And that was, I think, a big deal. We had to go get their stamp of approval on the idea that we would come there and start a studio and start a school and all this other nonsense we were talking about. So this is like their formal meeting room. We were in there to take a picture with the mayor.
Right.
I did post that up on Instagram.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah. They were really sweet, and they're very supportive. They want us to look. He's smiling. Look, he was
trying
a smile.
To stop.
So yeah, they were really supportive, and they're very interested in having tech come in. Pattaya, just for those of you who don't know, is mainly known as sort of a party city. I mean, it's a bit mental there, and that's the part that I don't really like. But then we found that there are many aspects to the city. It doesn't have to be all about the party. And of course, a lot of expats, like if we're hiring younger guys, they kind of like the party side of the thing, right? So
yes, they're clearly loving the party side of things.
So this was the second place we went. Now this is literally like Field of Dreams because there's nothing out there. It's just a big field. Now you can imagine that Alexander's response to this was, "What? I don't understand." and then I said, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Snakes." I think there will be snakes. But now Eddie and I were like, "Look, we could put a building over there, and we could have a tent over there, and a camp here, and we could do all kinds of fun stuff." And we were just loving it because there's like, it's like a location, you know, it's empty. You could build.
You're forgetting
snakes. Oh boy. So anyway, this was sort of, again, going out, trying to find, you know, a place to build a dream.
A field of dreams.
A field of dreams and snakes. A field of snakes and dreams.
We have a super chat. Rusty Cork. Okay. Who would win in an arm wrestling contest? American or John Carmack? Who's more tougherist?
That's a good one. I think I might give that to John.
You work out.
I do work out. He works out too, though. I don't know. That's a really good question. Anyway,
let's just raise funds to find out the answer to that.
Kickstarter for a wrestling match between me and John. That's a good question. He's in really good shape, and he does work out, and he doesn't drink, and he doesn't do any of the other horrible, unhealthy things that I do. So he might win that. He
might win.
You never know. So then we've got another one here from Lucas Severin.
how about installing a shooting range where we can shoot pepper grinders and throw razor cards?
Yeah, well, this, Lucas, is a great thing. I mean, this is exactly what I had in mind, is that we would have this be a location that is filled up with all kinds of thematic elements. And so that would be both maybe the rooms you're staying in have particular themes to them. This is the Caterpillar's cave, and this is the Cheshire Cat's dungeon, and this is the Mad Hatter's mansion, or whatever. So I think that, plus then also having, themed, like you said, like a shooting range or merchandise shop and things like that, I think could be quite interesting. And of course, a lot of people, they think of Thailand as this sort of mysterious, faraway, crazy place. And it is, in a way. It's very exotic. Now, I've been there so many times that it's that's lost on me. But I think for a tourist attraction, I think there's a lot of you out there. If we said, hey, come over to Thailand for a week, have a first-hand look at what we're doing to build the game, hang out on the grounds and get a massage and eat some yummy food and hang out in the Cheshire Cat cave.
I think people would like that.
Would you do that? If you would do that, smash like.
Smash like.
Smash like. Seems that cocaine has taken over our chat here.
You can't win cocaine.
You cannot win. Kids, don't play cocaine.
Yes.
It's not good for your anything. So yeah, this was the Field of Dreams. Look, see, we were all out there having a good time.
Who wasn't? What's that?
It's art installation.
Okay.
So there's a thing that goes on in Pattaya every year where about 100,000 people go out to these fields, do drugs, and listen to music. And I think it's called the Wonder Fruit Festival, which kind of funny because we were out there thinking about Wonderland, but Wonder Fruit is this thing that happens yearly in Pattaya Music Festival. People, it's, I think, somewhat family oriented. So there are people who bring their family, their kids, and whatnot out there. Snakes.
That's such a bizarre image. That you got on one side you got grumpy Russian, and on the other side you got a guy who looks like he's wearing joke glasses.
Yeah, this is very true. Don't tell Sukert you said that. Sean Carey sends $10 and says, thank you, Sean, for the super chat. He says, when American sees the coders at Pirate Jam hacking away, does it ever make him miss programming? No, because I still do programming. I have little Internet of Things that I play with. And then also just like from time to time, I have to crack open Excel and go into Visual Basic and write up scripts that help us to sort how all of our stuff gets sent. And so I still do my little bits here and there.
Still does it.
Python for some of the IoT stuff. So I'm also doing stuff on Raspberry Pi that's related to the boat and like power energy management systems and stuff like that. So I don't still mess around with it a bit. Alice on Street.
Alice-themed escape rooms.
Exactly.
That's escape rooms are like my worst nightmare.
Well, we'll have you be the guinea pig for them.
No, don't like.
Good. Yeah. That's a great idea, Alice on Elm Street. That's exactly what I think. That's the direction I'd like to go with this. Is that you go there and there's this whole theme. It's like welcome to Jurassic Park, right? And then as you go in, we've got escape rooms and we've got restaurants and we've got. You could get a massage by Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Right.
Why not?
Why not?
And then at the end of the experience, you go out through the gift shop and you buy yourself a White Rabbit plush toy doll thing. I think that could be quite fun.
Could be. What's that?
Well, this is just
Circle
more
of
of the.
hay.
This is more of the Wonder Fruit place, and these are the tents that the event goers can stay in. They got a range of options as to where you can stay. Now, this was looking again at more places where we might put the studio. This is quite cool. This is like a giant compound. Looks like a castle would make a fantastic studio. Again, I think people would, we could theme this up as sort of a Wonderland castle, the Queen's Castle. And
dog.
There's a dog. And so yeah, we went around and we looked at places like this. Again. Compared to what's going on in China these days, real estate there in Thailand is extremely cheap for renting a place like this or for buying a place like this to house a studio. And you could easily stick, 50, 60 people into a place like this. Of course, Alexander was like, what are we doing here? I don't understand. Like, come on, man. Just get with the program. Open your eyes. Dream. So yeah, we went and looked at places like this. And houses like this are like all over Thailand. It's crazy. And people are constantly trying to sell them because they'll go in there, they'll buy something for retirement, and then they die. And then they need to sell it. The family needs to sell it. So,
Right. Emily Mimnor is back with a super chat saying $2 for the snakes.
$2 snakes.
I'm sure the snakes would enjoy the $2.
Yeah. Why are we giving $2 to the snakes?
You know, maybe just make them move on. Get out of here, snakes. Here's $2. Stop freaking Alex out.
I think snakes are all right. I don't know.
Do they have venomous snakes around in Thailand?
Yeah.
Right.
They've got like crazy cobras and asps and what's the thing that's really called vipers? They have vipers there.
Cobras, asps, and vipers.
Yeah. Well, it's Thailand, man.
Excellent.
Come on. You have to worry more about the monkeys than you do the snakes, though.
Yeah, monkeys.
Monkeys are really vicious and they're really unpleasant. People think like, oh, they're really cute and I want to hang out with the monkeys.
I get really nervous around monkeys. I've
As
only
you
done
should.
it once, but it's like you don't know what they're going to do.
They're going to attack you. Yeah. So anyway, once we finished all of the review of real estate and meeting with governments and all that kind of stuff, we then went out on the boat to scout for locations where we might go for Pirate Jam. And so that's what this was. This was going around. There was no wind, so the entire trip was just like being on a motorboat because we couldn't put the sails up because there was no wind. But we went around to a bunch of islands and beaches trying to look at. That was kind of a smile. He's all right. He started to loosen up after he was on the boat a few days. Woo! You got another super chat there?
From Gmelath. What about a sky ride based off the Teapot sky ride in Madness Returns? That could get expensive.
Yeah, I don't know if we're raising that amount of money. I do want to quickly, because I've seen this. So someone here says, we don't want EA to publish your next game. Get Bandai Namco, please consider McGee. This type of thing pops up in the chats quite often. To be very clear, EA is not publishing Alice Asylum. They're not funding Alice Asylum. We are licensing the Alice rights from EA, and then we're going to go raise our own money, and then we're going to go find our own publishers with hookers and blackjack. And so this is the whole thing we've been working on for quite a while here. So we'll make that message very, very clear. EA will publish to their digital platform, Origin, as would be their right. You know, it is their property. But there is no sort of taking Alice away from EA or buying Alice from EA. Ultimately, they own Alice, and that's not going to change. But they are being kind and allowing us to license that from them, raise money elsewhere. Every time we sell a copy of the game, we pay them back a little bit of a license fee. Everybody's happy.
Job done.
They don't publish. You don't have to worry, and the job is done. So that is partly why we're going and doing this whole Thailand trip, because we now have a handful of potential financiers, investors, and publishers waiting in a basket. Each of them, some of them can work together, some of them cannot. We're developing the concept of how this is going to work, who's going to fund it, who's going to publish it. All that's being done as we speak. And this trip is a large portion of the due diligence that I have to do in order to go back and convince those guys, hey, we have a plan, we have a location, we have a team, and we're ready to make the game. So that's what's going on right now.
That's what's going on.
That is what's going
for
on.
all of you EA questioners.
Yes. So don't bash on EA.
Yeah.
Steffi says hookers. You know that's a Futurama reference.
Futurama reference.
It's what Bender always would say. I'll open my own casino with hookers and blackjack and hookers. We don't approve of blackjack or hookers. It's just a reference to Futurama and the robot a-hole character, otherwise known as Bender.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, back to Thailand. We then went out on the boat, and then we sailed around looking for locations, and we eventually found several locations. So this beach was quite nice. Out there in Ao Nang.
It's quite flat.
Well,
the water goes out.
The
quite
water.
far.
So we were in the middle of a full moon. The moon cycle, of course, dictates the distance that the tide rises and lowers. And at this time of year, the tide was dropping by as much as 3 meters. So that's 9 feet from top to bottom. And this is extreme. This was what we would call a neap tide. When it's extreme, it's a neap, and when it's not so extreme, it's a spring. I may have that backwards. Anyway, when you go to Thailand, normally you wouldn't necessarily see the water going out that far. You might see it going out a few meters, or going down, up and down a few, like maybe say 2 meters, but this was a really extreme time of year.
Is that Rasta Cafe?
It was the Rasta Cafe. I was trying to find a location where we could take our pirates for Pirate Jam. And this ended up being the first place that I thought would be suitable because it's large enough, they've got fast internet, and the guy who owns this, guess what his name is?
American.
Pirate.
Is it?
He's literally called Pirate.
Wow.
So that is the place that I think we're going to stop. Now, actually, we were doing the route. Did you say route or route?
Route.
Okay, we were doing the route backwards. And so this would actually be the next to last place that we would stop on Pirate Jam, but it was the first place we stopped on the way out for this exploration journey.
Sean Carey, Super Chats. Thank you very much. When it comes time to hiring the programmers, will you partner with another studio or hire your own?
That is a very excellent question, Sean, and that was partly what this entire adventure was about, trying to decide. And so what we did decide is something along these lines. There will be a core studio that may comprise of, say, 40 employees that are mainly, let's imagine them as the integration team. So they're the guys at the end of the factory line that are taking all the components and sticking them together into the final game. This is kind of actually, Spicy Horse was doing a similar thing. If you think about Spicy Horse on Madness Returns, our internal team got up to around 80 people. About 60 or 50 of them were really focused on the production of Alice Madness Returns. We had like 200 or something outsourcers who were building art assets. So there was this massive inflow of art assets and all the things that would make the game. And again, some of those assets were coming from Thailand, some were coming from China, some were coming from the Philippines. This is going to be a similar model, except we'd have that internal team be even smaller. Because last time around, we actually did have some 3D, 2D, and animation happening inside this studio in Shanghai. My thought for this time around is that our team in Thailand, that creative team, is going to be the ones that are obviously writing the designs and dictating what's being built. But then at the end of it, they're just integrating all the content that's being made by the outsourcers. And one of the reasons for doing that is that it keeps your overhead low and it makes you more flexible. But when it comes to programmers, yes, we will be hiring our own programmers, because programmers are critical to the final step of integration. They have to do all the design work, implement all the design ideas, and then they have to bring all the assets together in the end with the level design guys. So that studio in Thailand would probably be, a handful of level designers, a handful of programmers, and then some small group of artists, animators, that kind of stuff. So maybe 40-ish people, and Martin.
There you go, Sean.
So yeah, Sean, we would be hiring our own programmers. So if you are a programmer and you want to move to Thailand and live in Wonderland, this is our...
Then be good at programming.
There you go. There you go.
The time.
All right. What are we doing? Giving away another
wabbit.
Yeah.
Another wascally wabbit.
All right. Here we go. So you got to spam up the comment section, the live chat with...
What mad thing would you name your kid?
There you go.
Other than pirate or American?
This is an excellent question, Martin. This is a really good, excellent question. Yes.
Is it? So yes, get spamming to win one of those.
Mm-hmm. So these are the plush rabbits that we're giving away. Well, we're giving away as prizes today, but we're building up to these being the thing you would get over off of Patreon. So if you don't win one today, don't despair. You can get one via Patreon. And the way that's going to work is when we hit 3,222 patrons, it will unlock. But I'm trying to find out where that post is. I know, don't worry. So yeah, spam up the chat with what you were going to name your child. Madsen, Lucifer,
Sora,
Spam.
Fumbles.
You're going to name your child Spam?
Font Lord, Breakfast,
I don't know if I
Britain,
believe this.
Bun, Bellatrix, Boy.
There's a lot of very satanic names going on there in the chat.
Alexandria, Demon, Squirt.
All right, well, so here's how this is going to work. You go over to Patreon and click on this link about this reward, and it'll tell you that you can get a white rabbit once we hit 3,222 patrons. I did just set up a new $1 tier this morning, so if you are low on funds, fear not, you can go and sponsor or pledge at $1 a month, And then when we get to this number, you just bump your pledge up one time to $45, and then you will get the rabbit. You will also get a Lulu patch.
Ooh.
Look how cute that Lulu patch is. That's a rabbit. And the rabbit, of course, comes in a bag, which Martin has right there. Show him the bag, Martin.
Again.
Somebody's going to name their child Crazy. Rain. Legalize it, Junior. You know, this is one of the things I liked about working in China is you get employees who give themselves very funny English names.
Bonkers names.
I can say, honestly, that I had working for me Led Zeppelin. Because I had a guy working for me who decided that his name was Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
All right, here we go. We're going to roll it.
Roll it.
Ches Allen has won the prize.
Sounds familiar, but I'm just looking at my sheet.
So, Ches, you're going to have to send an email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com and include your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and all the things we would need to send you your White Rabbit plush. And don't make it difficult for me or I'm not going to send it to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, are we going to big up Freaky Fandoms?
It is that time.
All right, let's do it.
So our good friends, Deborah and Andrew. I'm looking at this Rammstein picture. Deborah and Andrew have sent us some nice Christmas cheer, and they've said that this week they are actually, I think that they're doing some sort of special guest appearance.
Yeah. Check his email out. He mentions it.
Yeah, he was saying that they're doing something called 26 Movies from Hell. That's something that he's involved with. I've been following them talking about this over on Twitter. And so they're doing a new episode on a film called Alice, Sweet Alice.
Okay.
It looks freaky.
That thumbnail we're looking at, it looks freaky.
It does look really, really freaky. So I don't know if you want to click on that or not. It might freak people out. But anyway, they are also doing a discussion about Bird Box.
Yes.
Apparently there's a thing called the Bird Box Challenge. Now, Martin and I recently watched Bird Box, not together, but separately. And I was commenting, and Martin was commenting on the fact that it seems...
It's not all that good.
Well, it's not super amazing. Andrew wants me to refresh. It's not super amazing. Now it's working better. Okay. Sorry about that, Andrew. I thought it was okay, but I've noticed that it's getting massive coverage in the social channels like Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it doesn't seem...
I saw somebody doing the Bird Box Challenge.
What is that?
You basically try and walk around the whole day with a blindfold on to see if you can cope.
Interesting.
Which is stupid. Maybe not as stupid as the Tide Pod Challenge.
Right.
But yeah, the movie itself, I enjoyed for like half of it. I thought it was quite an interesting Under Siege type movie. Like, ooh, what's happening? Ooh, we're in danger. Let's hunker down and get through this. But the second half doesn't go anywhere, and you don't get any resolution, and you're just left with questions, and it feels empty and bland and poop.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disappointed at one point. You see her training the kids to navigate with this sort of click echolocation, like they're clicking stones together. And I thought this could be quite interesting, like at some point, if they actually start to use this clicking in order to navigate around a scene, but you never see it used again. And this sort of breaks, for me, one of those cardinal rules about, bringing something up in a film. Like if you show someone training how to use a gun, at some point you'd better have them shooting the gun. If you show these children training to be like bat echolocators, why? I don't understand. Where was that? And so I don't know. I felt like there were a lot of places where they had some ideas that they just never sort of capped off. They never finished off. But I like her. I like her as an actress.
Yes.
I like her a lot. I thought the kids, and I thought a lot of the story was really good. Some of the acting, the John Malkovich, and these guys, were really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I felt like it didn't take off. But I'd be curious to know what our friends over at Freaky Fandoms think about this, because they do have a discussion about this going on in their latest podcast. So instead of listening to us talk about something that we can't quite articulate, I would suggest that you go over and give Andrew and Deborah a listen, because they're much better at this sort of cultural dissection and discussion of things like the Bird Box phenomenon.
So yeah, go give them some love. Freaky Fandoms podcast.
They've got all kinds of discussion about culture and films. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I thought it was kind of fun seeing people kill themselves in all those weird ways.
Yeah. But then again, didn't The Happening also do that?
It did.
Alice on Elm Street says, "Oh my God, the audition. That movie effed me up." On the Freaky Fandoms thumbnail there. It is a good movie.
Right.
It's right there behind.
This one, I see.
The lady from Audition.
Yeah. Well, Andrew and Deborah, they do cover, and with this 26 Movies from Hell, they cover a lot of really freaky stuff. So if you're into freaky stuff, shocking stuff, scary stuff, unusual stuff, then you want to go over. I think freaky is the stuff that they generally, that's why they're called Freaky Fandoms.
Yeah.
Anyway, go support them because they support us. And if you support them, then you're also supporting us. I'm never really sure how that works. Supportception. Multiple layers of support. Right. So this was Ko Hong. A hong in Thai. Hong means room. So if you're checking into a hotel, you'll hear them say Song Hong. That means 2 rooms. So when it comes to these islands, what happens is that the interior of a limestone karst island gets hollowed out by weather action and rain and whatnot. There's me. And whatever. I've seen this a million times. Bored.
Oh, so boring, this view.
But these interiors get all hollowed out. So we're actually sitting inside of an island right now. This is water inside of an island. This is the outside of that same island. And you can see how this limestone is obviously very vulnerable to being eroded away in interesting ways. And if you look at, see that line above my head on the rock there, that is how high historically the water can come up.
I see.
So this is the tide range, potential tide range. That's American. I've got a camel on my shirt. I'm not sure what I'm talking about there. But this is one of the locations we were thinking about taking our Pirate Jam people. And this is yet another one. This is an island called Koh Roi, and this has a big Hong inside over here that is filled with fruit bats. Flying foxes.
Okay.
As they're known. And they're huge. They've got a 2.5 meter wingspan. That's nearly 10-foot wingspan for those of you who...
These are bats.
They're called flying foxes. They're a type of bat. And they're massive. That's a cat.
Wow.
That's Millie. That's my friends Liz and Jamie's boat. And if you like following sailing blogs, go check out followtheboat.com. Sailingfollowtheboat.com. Jamie would correct me to say. So there's me. This is inside of the Hong where the fruit bats live. I think I'm talking about the fact that there's fruit bats, but look at this location, super surreal. So if you can imagine that we could actually build in an area where we have access to this kind of crazy mangrove stuff, and have a studio and a kind of an attraction, and then we built something artistic into spaces like this in nature, could be really, really cool.
Those look interesting.
There are fruit bats in here, but I don't think you can really see them on this this footage. But yeah, so I think that the end result of this adventure to Thailand was, yes, we can do this. Despite the grumpy faces that Alexander made the entire time, we have determined that it is possible and maybe even advisable for us to locate a central design hub. This is the development hub in Thailand, very likely in the area around Pattaya, because we would get really good government support there. And like I said, we could have a team of maybe 40 or 50 people who are doing product development, integration, and then we would send all of the artwork out to outsourcers in Thailand, in China, in Russia. There's going to be a global team of people who are building the art assets for the game. And so we got all that we wanted from that trip. We got our government meetings. We saw potential places for studio space. We kind of crossed the T's and dotted the I's on a lot of the regulation, taxation, immigration, and all these other questions. We have quite a checklist that we had to go through during this trip. And this was one of the last days out on the boats. And you know what we saw?
Shark.
No. that. Those are dolphins.
Oh, okay. Friendly sharks.
Those are dolphins. They're beautiful. And those are... They're kind of miniature dolphins. They're not full-blown dolphins, but they're sort of miniature dolphins. But yeah, we were out there in that anchorage and dolphins went by.
Yeah.
It is paradise and it is gorgeous, as is being said in the chat. It's one of the reasons why I would be very happy for us to relocate and build a studio out there.
I can see.
We're going to have to come up with a name.
Spicy something, wasn't it? People
Spicy
said.
Dolphin.
Wasn't it? The Sriracha logo is a chicken, or what is it?
Yeah.
So spicy
Spicy cock.
Spicy cock.
I don't know. All right. So let's get back into art review. These are, of course, the rabbits. The rabbits are what we're giving away as prizes today. They look really good. There's now like a bunch of them sitting in Shenzhen in a warehouse ready to ship out to you fans.
I did put that picture in the folder. It's somewhere.
Is it now? Don't know about that.
Keep going.
Which picture? Oh, you mean the one? Well, if you didn't,
Tony.
did you reload this app? Because it won't pick it up if you just try to stick it in there.
Maybe not.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So then there has been a lot of progress being done on Asylum. Those of you who've been following along, Asylum is the third game in the series, and we are building art and design and story for that. And while I was gone, we got imagery from, this is Omri. He's kind of mixed together the denial stage that Joey did with this circus concept. And so this was sort of the flyer, the marketing image for the Tweedles.
What's in the little speech bubble? Shall we go?
Shall we go?
Who's she talking to?
She might be talking to herself. She might be talking to a rabbit. She might be talking to Cheshire Cat. Hard to say.
Hard to say.
What is 2D?
It's like a flat image.
Dinero?
No,
it's a unit of money measurement.
Dimes.
2 dimes.
$2.
Anyway, so the Tweedledee and Tweedledum, greatest show at Wonderland. Again, you could imagine something like this being a part of an attraction in Thailand, so that you go there and then there's something around this theme built up.
Ooh, some people saying I sound kind of echoey.
Yeah, it's because you never sit close enough to
I'm
your microphone.
right in front of the microphone.
Yeah. We have experienced lots of audio problems. Hard to say. So what we are working on now that I'm back from Thailand is we're laying out the structure, the journey through Asylum, and starting with the first stage. This is denial. So I will be uploading all this stuff to Patreon and to the design wiki. If you are interested in working on design stuff with us, then do become a patron, and also consider going over and checking out the Alice Asylum wiki. This is up there. Anybody can look at it. It's at AmericanMcGee.com, and there's a button for the wiki. But if you become a patron, you can also get involved in our weekly design discussions around these types of topics. And so this is what we are going to be working on next, which is kind of firmly establishing the movement through the world. And we've already got a lot of work done on this.
It looks it.
This is the denial section.
These particular images we're looking at now, who are they for? Are they going to be presented to anyone, or it's just for our benefit?
What do you mean exactly?
I don't know, is it for any other type of like future presentation to people, like potential investors and such, or is it just for like an internal type of game document?
Well, I think what we're working on here is putting together sort of the colors, the color set that we expect the player to move through. This is really important, like when you're looking at color theory, when you're giving people visuals in a game, a lot of times you want to map out what range of colors that a particular area will be, and then a transition that happens at a dramatic moment in, say, the narrative or in a battle, which then shifts to, maybe a violent shift to another color, a kind of range, will cause the colors in that scene to really pop, because your eye has become really acclimated to, say, blues. If you then shift suddenly to reds, then the reds will seem that much more intense. So this is one of the things that we actually do as we're mapping out where we're going, is we start to think about scene by scene, what are we seeing, and then what are the color ranges within those particular scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is partly to establish that, but this is also partly to establish the narrative sequence, which, acts, which scenes, and into how many chapters. So all of this stuff, though, is going to get boiled down into the content that you see over on the Design Wiki. I mean, who is the Design Wiki for? Well, the Design Wiki is for us. This is our crowd design process where everyone gets to be involved in helping to write ideas. Like, we've got a whole section here of community ideas. And so people are jamming in all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going through this, and one by one, we're saying yes, no, and maybe we need some more detail here. But the ultimate goal of this is that we will have a design Bible, design document, which has in it all of the enemies, all the scenes, all of the everything, weapons, you name it, right?
Yep.
So this is the design of our game.
Excellent.
It is excellent. It's very, very excellent. So yeah, there are a couple of sheets in this sort of theme as we're going through. This is the next stage after denial is anger. So obviously she's shifted the color palette to a much heavier sort of reds. And she's also started listing out here the enemies we might encounter. Again, here's another stage. This is bargaining. And
Disco mushroom.
Disco mushroom. Oops. I've pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Oh, no.
My bad. Yeah, this is depression. So obviously this is moved into kind of blues and very grays. This is the outline of our game.
It's all coming together.
It is all coming together. Here is acceptance. So this is much more brown, kind of neutrals. All these images are looking really, really good, though.
They are.
Yeah. So this is also an important step, is we're going to start having a list of all the enemies and artwork to go along with them, and then where we see them and their stage. And we're going to need to go in, and for each one of these, we will want to write up a section on the website that has not just the picture of them, but also we need to write in here some text about hit points and attacks and weaknesses and lines of dialogue and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alice on Elm Street. Sorry. Super chats. Thank you. So like when Alice enters hysteria mode, how the colors all shift.
I don't think we've decided yet what the colors for hysteria are. That's something we need to do as a group in the crowd design stuff. So Alice, please join us over on the next design meeting and Discord, and you can get some of your thoughts in there on that.
Please do.
Yep. These are all the enemies that have been done up so far.
Some good stuff going on in here.
What is your favorite enemy of all these?
I kind of have a soft spot for the fella with two heads and forks for legs.
This guy.
Yeah, I just like the forks for legs. It looks silly.
Oh, this guy with forks for legs.
And the expressions on the face, it's kind of creepy. And
I always liked the human centipede doll here.
Because of its little butt.
Yeah, I mean, she's drawn little buttocks bits there. Joey's got quite the imagination. Yeah, who is my favorite amongst all these? I guess I'd have to go with, he's pretty funny, this doll bear thing.
Cranky was the
Cranky.
name?
Yeah, I'm a little cranky. He's pretty good. Well, we can use this right now as a quick little segue to contest time.
It's a bit early, isn't it?
It's a bit early, but why don't we just have them spam them up the chat and tell us in the spam which is your favorite of these enemies, and we will give away
a wabbit.
A wabbit. Show them a wabbit.
A wabbit.
It's that wabbit. This deformed wrong one finally showed up as well.
We've had that for ages.
I know. He's just
so
weird. He's just really wrong.
Let's never give that away. We need to keep that
I just don't
forever.
Get what they based on the artwork we sent, how they could get it so wrong.
Got another one over here.
Jesus Christ, in and out.
Another prototype.
What's going on here?
Did you mean to do that in and out, or are you going to like say whoops and take it all back later?
Man,
The last time that happened, they whoopsed, didn't they?
I don't remember
And
that.
got refunded.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know why you guys aren't spamming the chat with which is your favorite, because that's how we're going to give away the next rabbit. So maybe we've just bored everybody. They've all run away.
I think maybe there might be a little lag.
I think there might be a ton of lag. Can you guys please watch this short video right now and tell us what you think? It has a lot to do with the current state of AAA game industry and whether or not it's headed for a crash. I can't post the link, but just search the moment Diablo died at BlizzCon 2018. Yes, in and out. I know exactly the scene to which you are referring.
That was a famous thingy that happened.
Where the guy says, is this some sort of late or early April Fool's joke?
Yeah.
And I think that the issue there was that obviously a much beloved franchise was being pushed to mobile. And wasn't there an announcement this week for a new Aliens game that's also going to be on mobile? And people were displeased with that.
Remember that.
And well, it just came out a few days ago.
Right.
You're not up with the cool kids, Martin.
Not.
But the point in that was that the response was, well, everybody's got a phone. And so that was
Yeah, don't you guys have phones?
Don't you have a phone?
Oh yeah, thanks. All of us PC players with our high-end PCs
Yeah.
that we've loved playing Diablo on. Let's
But-
use our phones.
But in relation to your question here, and whether or not the AAA game industry is heading for a crash, you have to remember that any time someone else screws up in a marketplace, they open up an opportunity for another party to succeed. So just look at the massive success that Rockstar have had with Red Dead Redemption 2, or look at the massive success that Sony Santa Monica has had with Crouton 2, the Caesar Salad Wars, Kratos, Crouton, anyway, God of War.
Who did Spider-Man?
Well,
Insomniac?
Spider-Man. So there are
Love Spider-Man.
there are tons of really well done AAA, single player, no microtransaction BS, none of that, right? That are killing it. They're making Red Dead Redemption 2 did nearly $1 billion in a weekend, right? So I don't know that we're really necessarily heading for a crash. I think that we're just seeing some of these businesses make bad choices when it comes to which direction in which they're going to go, and that's fine. Apple seems to be struggling right now. They're not always going to be number one. GE is a really excellent example of a stock which used to be a Fortune 500, what they called a blue chip, General Electric, and they're basically trading at like junk status now because they're so discombobulated and uncertain about where their real focus is. They've made some really bad acquisitions. They've just not done a good job, and so they are slowly themselves crashing.
Yeah.
It happens, but where, Apple goes away, or maybe Blizzard goes away, someone else will step in. Someone else will make the kind of games that we want to play, and we
will do that.
We are going to make. Sears is dead. What was that? There was a really funny. Was it Family Guy where they go into Sears and then it's like it's a scene out of Mad Max because there's like it's this violent burning wasteland
like
and Peter goes he's like runs off with the Mad Max car drivers. Yeah, I mean these things die, but you got to remember that when they die, other things will fill in their place. Look, what we're talking about doing, building a studio in Thailand, is a radical proposition. You know one of the reasons why we have to make that sort of radical shift is that it's become untenable, too expensive to produce a good quality AAA game title in China. The cost of living in Shanghai now is equal to or greater than that of like a major US city like Los Angeles.
It's expensive.
It's super expensive. People will say like, well, you're just going to go utilize, cheap labor well, yeah. I mean, that's how you get good products at a decent price is you go and you find the places where those products can be manufactured for the least amount of money. Everything we own works on that premise. So in order for us to figure out how to make a AAA game at a reasonable price, we have to go to unexplored places. We have to go to places where no one's yet cut down the jungle and build something that doesn't yet exist. That's fine, but that's not going to be Blizzard doing that, right? So you have to understand, like, different people, these different organizations make decisions based on very different constraints. We're going to start from a tabula rasa, a blank slate. Blizzard can't really do that. So anyway, that's my rant. Rant off.
It was a good one.
It was a good rant. All right.
Let's roll.
3, 2, 1, roll it.
Nightbot.
Ghibli Girl 29. Hey,
Ghibli
Martin,
Girl.
she says, well, Ghibli Girl.
Hi, Ghibli girl.
29, you won a rabbit, so you need to email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com, include your name, your phone number, the fact that you won a rabbit, and your address, and make sure that you do all that in a way that is very easy for me to interpret, or else you won't get a rabbit.
It doesn't look like we're lagging that much. I mean, already getting congrats to Ghibli girl
Yay, Ghibli Girl.
on the chat.
Well, Nightbot isn't lagging, but we are.
Okay.
All right. I hope that answered the question of In and Out there for his two. That was a massive super chat. So
That's
thank
the
you.
maximum, isn't it?
Thank you, In and Out. Even though maybe you're going to recall that later.
Yes. I meant to put 20.
No. So
Or
this
2.
is a new piece of art from Joey. I really like this. It's a little baby doll with mushrooms growing out of its head.
Yeah, I like the sort of the line art style of this, like a ye olde newspaper drawing.
It's really beautiful. I mean, I think there were some people who even commented to like print it, send it now. They like it like this, you know.
Well, after January's Patreon print, I think we are going to go back to some more colourful ones, aren't we? Because Alex's series has now ended.
That is correct. That is very
So,
correct. So I think this probably will end up being our next poster. And this, of course, is young Alice in the asylum with a doll head that has mushrooms growing out of it, as you do. What?
Somebody asked, why partner with Blizzard and not Sony? Are we partnering with Blizzard?
Yeah.
Maybe English isn't their first language.
I don't know.
We're not.
The internet really frustrates me sometimes. Anyway, so this is the Mad Hatter. This is the most recent art print in the series. Now, he called these the Dark Dichotomy?
Something like that.
Dark Symmetry. Shadow Symmetry? Anyway, Alex had some sort of brilliant name for this series of posters, and I've now, of course, forgotten it because my brain is melted. But it's that comment, if somebody's asking me why not partner with Blizzard, that melted my brain. Thanks. Thank you for that. So this is the Mad Hatter. This is one of the last in the series that Alex did of these posters. And we will be sending this out as the art print for which month?
It's this month.
This is this month.
Yes, everybody at the correct Patreon level who was charged at the beginning of January will be getting this.
Okay. And if you missed that, then you could also go over to Mysterious and buy it up there. Is that right?
If you've put it there.
I don't know. I mean, you ask me to do things, but then people say really weird things on the internet and I forget.
I don't think it's there
I
yet.
don't think it's there, but that's what these are. These black and white and red images. He did a whole series of like 6 of them?
Something like that.
I still feel like the rabbit is my favorite. Which
a
one
good
is your
one.
favorite?
Yeah. Maybe the rabbit or the queen,
You
perhaps.
can't have the rabbit as your favorite. That's my favorite.
Can I not? Oh,
no,
I guess the
you
queen
gotta
then.
choose your own. I really detest the queen, so please have her.
It's all tentacly.
Just kidding.
You say you love tentacles.
I do love tentacles. In my porn. I don't want it in my art prints.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is the most recent from Alex, and it will be the last in the series. And then once this is done, once we've sent this out, then next month will be this one. That one from Joey. Is that right?
Assuming it gets done and coloured in and stuff.
Yeah, it'll get done. It's fine. What are we
Okay.
can we call this one Mushroom Head?
We can.
I think this is a brilliant idea. Maybe we should make and manufacture this and sell this like little mushroom seeds, and people can.
I think that probably would sell. But there might be an issue with shipping seeds around the world.
Yeah, it's true. Are these people really suggesting that we're partnering with Blizzard or Sony?
No, Emily is
Oh, boy.
reiterating that we are not.
Right. You know, I like this comment. I just want to touch on this really quick. Luis Hernandez says, the Chinese quality does not compare with the American in AAA games. Hey, Luis, I have a surprising fact for you. All of your American AAA games made by companies like EA and Blizzard, Activision, THQ when they were in business, Disney, all of those games, all of those art assets, at least 90% of those art assets are made in China.
Probably made by Virtuous.
Activision has a 300 or 400 person studio in Shanghai that builds all of the art assets that go into your AAA quote unquote American games.
There you go.
I beg to disagree with that comment.
Learn that.
Yeah, that always makes me laugh. Anyway, so that is going to be the next art poster.
Probably.
Now, Alex sent along, this was based on the last time that we did a design discussion on Discord. So we do this. We'll do it again next week. Once a week, we get everybody together on Discord, and then we go through that list of the, at least right now that's what we're doing. We're going through the list of the design suggestions that have been made by our patrons and people who have access to this wiki. And so using Discord, we sit there and we talk about what we're doing in terms of design for the game.
Yeah.
And this was the result of the last time that we had one of those design discussions. We had talked about pickups for, this is, I think, Rage and Sorrow.
Emotion pickups.
These are emotion pickups. Do you remember how the emotion pickups were supposed to work?
No. But it was like emotions linked to like hysteria type powers. Once you kind of maxed out your bar, you could trigger it or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you're picking these up. Like you might pick up rage or anger, and then at some point you have enough of it that you can set it off.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a cool idea. I mean, the moment that I saw these, again, I was like, ooh, it'd be really cool to really make these.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. Can you imagine if we actually did like a spicy flavored vodka in a bottle like this?
That bottle, the teeth would come out during shipping. For sure.
Maybe that part wouldn't work, but we could redesign this to be something that did work and then sell it as a I don't know, maybe it's a item that you carry around for your cosplay, or you could put your weed in it, or your vodka or whatever. Do you know that they just made marijuana legal in Thailand?
I do not.
I don't really partake of the leafy green stuff. It doesn't really, not my thing, but I thought that was quite interesting that while I was there on December 25th, they legalized medical marijuana in Thailand.
Mm.
So that's going to mean that the Wonderland theme park that we're working on is going to be that much more fun. Everybody can come over, and we could even have our own brand of legal marijuana power-up pickups at the resort.
And there you go. Demonetized YouTube video.
Hey, we're not saying anything. We didn't say anyway. So these are, again, variations on, this is Rage and Anger.
The small pickups.
Small pickups. This is Sorrow. And this is Joy and Happiness. I didn't know that we were going to have any joy and happiness in our game.
Apparently we are.
What are you doing? Come on, Alex.
Hid. What are you doing?
Pants now. There's no joy and happiness in our games, Alex. Come on. What are you doing? But the other thing we could do, we could sell these. We could make a line of perfumes. Makeups.
Right. Essence of Lulu.
Why not?
Could do.
Could do. I don't know. Might work.
Maybe.
This is another image that Omri did. Now imagine if we built something that kind of looked like this in Thailand. Not all of this, but
not all of it.
Some of this. Like you just had these little pieces, accoutrements.
It would look bonkers.
It would. I think we could do it. Just have funny, cool statues and a couple of little location bits, and allow the fans to come out and join in the fun. Escape rooms. While we're making the game,
terrifying escape rooms.
I think it'd be really interesting. I was also thinking, because I was reading a story yesterday about how Kotaku or Game... No, it wasn't Kotaku. It was GameSpot. Or, I don't know. One of these magazines that I thought died like 10 years ago. Anyway, they were calling out the writing of the backstory for the trans characters in the most recent, I don't know, some sort of space opera game. And so they were making it sound like the stories were written by somebody who doesn't understand the trans story, the narrative. And it turns out that the game developers actually had taken real life trans people's stories and then transplanted them into the game. Anyway, so the article had to have a bit of a retraction printed into it because it turns out that all the stories about the trans characters in the game were actually written by actual trans people in the real world, trans fans. And am I going to get in trouble for saying stuff like that? I'm just being silly. It's just a joke. Don't get angry. So anyway, that had me thinking that we could have our children in the asylum, like when you run into characters, we could do backstories, and we could make it so the backstories for the insane children or other characters in the game, they could come from our fans.
Right.
That was Jimi Hendrix official says the game I'm referring to is the new, I think, Rimworld. I'm not sure. But the story, I mean, obviously this kind of highlighted a bit of the nonsense hypocrisy that is contained within this virtue signaling that goes on in and around, well, not just games, but all kinds of media. Because clearly the developer and the designers of these games had gone out of their way to be as inclusive as possible and to not only be inclusive, but to give voice to these marginalized groups, trans people in the game, and whether you want to agree with that or not, or you care. I mean, I say, who cares? Like, let people make the stuff they want to make and buy it if you like it. But the fact that the game's media decided to be dicks about it, and then were shown to be basically attacking something that they should have been applauding, just goes to show how garbagey the game's media is in general.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that kind of, not specifically that topic, it kind of feeds into what we were discussing earlier about Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
And critics, how they are so out of touch with what people actually want and like. I mean, your view may vary, but, Doctor Who Series 11 is being praised to high heaven, where it is a steaming pile o' poop.
Yep.
I have actually abandoned Doctor Who now.
Wow, I didn't know
I
that.
don't remember any time in my TV viewing history where I have abandoned a show that is currently still running because of how bad it got.
That's sad. And you're a big fan, and I'm a big
massive fan.
Yeah.
But it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And oppositely, The Orville. Panned by critics, loved by everyone else.
Yep.
So
I love The Orville.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, but I think, my takeaway from that story, A, the game's journalists are poop, and B, that I like the idea of getting content from our fans and incorporating that into the game. And I think that is something we've touched on. Like, obviously we did a Chaos coin, and if you got a Chaos coin, then you also got to put your message and your name on the coin, and then you'll be able to find that in the game. And I love that kind of thing. We did bring this up in the Patreon post yesterday, and that was, what does this rabbit unlock? So we're gonna have the rabbit.
Some questions and stuff about the rabbit on my piece of paper.
Well, let's do that because we've run out of art. But my idea was that the rabbit can unlock maybe a dress in game, or it could be some bunny ears or something like that. But so in order for you to unlock that, though, you will have had to acquire the actual physical rabbit, and then that will give you access to some sort of code that you then use to unlock something cool in game. I was also thinking, like, should we do another thing where you personalize? Maybe you put a little personal message in a rabbit. I'm not sure. But that's something I'd like to figure out.
Yeah. Sounds like I'm being auto-tuned, according to Hannah. Yeah, and Shoujo Sparkleman kind of agreeing with my Doctor Who review.
It's very strange.
Yeah. Are we going to go through these?
Let's do it, because we're running out of time.
Oh my God.
We're going to do one more giveaway at the end of this, but we're going to go through your comments now.
All right. Rachel Garza says that they would love if getting the rabbit unlocked an exclusive rabbit dress. Love Joey's new artwork. Can't wait to see it coloured in. The dress is a popular thing.
Well, I think what we want to do is ask Omri to do a little white rabbit dress for Alice, and then we have the dress unlock for anyone who has acquired this rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Goen suggests that perhaps the plush could also unlock an in-game weapon, but dressers are also welcome. Perhaps both.
I'm a little bit concerned about the weapon.
Yeah.
Throws off.
Yeah. Like you've got to do the balance, and like some people will then have the weapon and some won't.
Correct.
It's entering tricky territory.
If we link this rabbit, not this one, but it's the only one I have access to. If we link you getting the rabbit to unlocking something that gives you an unfair advantage in the game, I don't know. Are we okay with that? Maybe we are, because it is a single player game. It's not like you're going to use that unfair advantage against other players. But anyway, this is something we need to discuss and decide. And yeah.
Nancy Bryant agreeing. Clothing or weapon sounds fantastic. Suvi loves the new print Joey is working on, but their vote goes for getting an in-game dress. Suggests that when Alice is wearing the dress, her skin could be stitched and one of her eyes replaced with a button. Like
I saw that.
The rabbit is. That would be the idea. Kind of creepy. And
that would be really creepy.
Yeah.
To have buttons for eyes on
Suvi,
Alice.
if you're watching, we like that.
Yeah, so, Greg of Greg's Junk says, we don't want things to become pay to win. I agree. We don't. Of course, pay to win, I think, as a concept, primarily exists in a space where you are competing against other players, and they are paying, and you are paying, and then whoever pays the most wins, right?
Yep.
Does the concept really apply in a single-player game?
No.
I don't know.
Something to think about.
Right.
Anthony Morvan. To match the one-eyed rabbit, you also need one-eyed Alice. So what about unlocking pirate dress?
I saw that one.
The fact that both girls and rabbits were said to bring bad luck on a ship would reinforce their bond.
Interesting. I didn't know that rabbits brought bad luck to a ship. I know that women on boats, on ships, is considered bad luck, as is whistling and other types of things that are no-nos. But I didn't know that rabbits were bad luck on ships.
Pirates are super suspicious. Superstitious.
There you go. You would be too if, like, you fell overboard and you were just going to get eaten by a shark and drown and die. So.
You'd need to blame someone. Yeah. Is there a woman on board or a rabbit? Let's blame that.
Exactly.
Sarah Heist. The in-game dress would be interesting. Silly idea. What if it was the bunny hat with the ears that go up when you press the button?
I saw that.
That we were selling and giving away.
I don't know what we don't have any of them laying about here.
It could be like her idol animation.
We have sold quite a few of those. People really like them. I don't really get like why they became so popular, but we do sell little funny bunny rabbit ears.
They're still on there.
Yeah, they're still here.
They are.
That seems like a strange, potentially a strange thing to have our Alice character, but maybe it works. I mean, at least we know we could make a physical product about it as well.
Should we play the video?
It's terrible.
It's loud.
It's going to break the internet. I mean, they're all going to be going deaf in the what's he there?
Yeah, just think how many more we're going to sell. Now people can see this.
I think they're all going to be deaf after this. They might be suing us for deafness. Anyway,
headphone users, R.I.P. headphone users.
I think that could be fun. Anyway, we need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Hannah
Young, a suggestion. This is actually a merch suggestion. Alice designs on pop sockets, such as the chaos symbol, chaos coin, white rabbit, etc. My other suggestion was car vinyl stickers.
What's a pop socket? Is that the thing on the back of the phone?
Yeah, you got the email from the company.
Someone actually...
Yeah. They called it a poop socket.
Yes,
which sounds like slang for your bumhole.
No, socket. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's something we have thought about. It's a thing.
There you go.
Pop sockets, not poop sockets. Fever Blade. Criticism.
Uh-oh.
He's marked it in capitals with criticism.
Well, at least I can brace myself. Okay, I'm ready.
Yep.
Hit me with the criticism.
Dress rewards are too special to make exclusive content after the fact. I couldn't drop $45 at the time of the pledge, and I don't mind missing out on something small like a cool bunny ear headband perk. That would be reasonable. But a whole dress? Got a point. Well, maybe getting the rabbit gives you the dress for free, but you can also get the dress normally in-game with some DLC.
What? No, well, see, that's people don't want you doing that. They don't want you selling the dress. I mean,
selling cosmetics is fine. You can buy it or not. It's your choice. I don't think people are upset
So
at
if
that.
you get the rabbit, you will get this bunny dress. But if you didn't get the rabbit, you could always just spend a few dollars and get it anyway.
Maybe. It's a way to not have it restricted for future collection.
Well, this is what we need to sort out. We need our insane children to go over to Discord and in the comments below, and let's hash this out. And understanding that there's always going to be one or two people who, no matter what we come up with, are going to be disgruntled and unhappy about it.
You mean you can't please all the people all the time?
No. You know, with Out of the Woods, we had like 4,000 backers over there.
Yep.
3,771 backers on Out of the Woods. There's one backer who, no matter what you say or do, is angry at everything. Yeah. So we know how this goes. It doesn't matter that we've done everything we can to fulfill our goals and keep our promises and to support the product and to respond in a more than timely fashion. And to be fair, you still are going to get people who cannot help themselves but be disgruntled at whatever it is you're doing. But anyway, let's try to figure out how to do the thing which causes the least disgruntlement.
Yeah.
If we can sell cosmetics, I like that. I like the idea that... But this is the other thing. I feel like that rabbit is special. And I feel like you ought to want to get the rabbit to unlock something. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm done. There was one more comment, but we already did that earlier about the PDF of the Out of the Woods game.
All right. Well, that's brought us to the end of our comments, has it?
It has.
That was pretty fast. I thought
we powered through them.
On. Okay.
I like powering through the comments.
Well, that's unusual because sometimes we really get bogged down in the comments. Well, that's about it. We basically covered all of the artwork that we had to look at, and we've talked about Out of the Woods, we've talked about Pirate Jam, we've talked about starting a new studio in Thailand. Most importantly, we talked about this weird box that got shipped to one of our Kickstarter backers, and now that person is the proud owner of a mysterious random box.
Ray Weatherford super chats.
Yep, I can't talk about that, Ray.
You posted something about a life-changing event.
Can't talk
Fill us
about,
in, please.
Can't talk about that yet.
He said please.
No, can't do it. But thank you for the $5. I will fill you in when I'm able to fill you in. It's just not yet. There is another project that's getting worked on. We'll throw it in at the end here. And I don't mean, by the way, Jennifer, if you're watching this, to be disparaging or not give the project any attention. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes a bit before we do start talking about it too much or very much. But Jennifer, our wonderful Canadian Canuckian artist up there in the great white north, she is working on a concept called Jibs. And that has taken her into the realm of learning how to use the Unreal Engine to actually just full-on develop a game.
Wow. Yeah,
so she is learning herself some game engine and game building, and she's building assets. So it is going to be a first-person shooter. It's set in a cute kind of post-apocalyptic world. There are bunnies as well. This is kind of like a recycling bunny. And... yeah, so she's actually got level tests and art tests and all kinds of really good stuff going. This is getting a very positive response over on Twitter.
She's really going for it.
She's just building the game. She's like,
in the chat.
She's like, F the money. We don't need a contract. Let's just make this thing. But the response that she's getting from the community over on Twitter is extremely positive. People really like this kind of like cute FPS looking thing. And that's good because one of our financiers has already written this into our first year production plan. So we would have to be hitting the ground running, building this cute, gory FPS. And so, yeah, Jennifer's doing some quite interesting work on that.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I can't wait to start seeing more blood in this though, Jennifer. I mean, enough with just the cute and the furry and the bunnies. We need to see gore, blood, guts, Jibs. I mean, it is called Jibs.
Put the jibs in Jibs.
So please put the jibs in Jibs. Jen, jib it up.
Jib it up. That could be our new catchphrase.
Like
Instead of like
wubba dubba lub lub.
smash like.
Jib it up.
Jib it up.
All right, YouTube, jib it up, smash like. That does bring us to the end of all the things we want to talk about today. But before we go, we're going to do one more giveaway. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you to go over to my website, AmericanMcGee.com. And there's a bunch of stuff you can do there to help support the things we are working on. We don't always cover this at the end of the stream, but we'll do it today. So sign up for the mailing list. I think we've got like over 40,000 people on that.
Yeah, that needs to go up faster.
It does need to go up faster.
Come on, everyone, sign up. It's easy.
Yes. Then you could also, by the way, you could start spamming the chat while I'm spamming you with all this stuff. And you know what you could do? Because Feverblade sends $5 and says, in the Alice book, many animals were people Carol knew. He was the dodo. Which animal would you two be? I would be... Which animal would I be? What about all the other characters in general? I don't know. I'd be the walrus, just because I want to be able to swim and tusk things up. Who would you be?
I'd be the cowardly lion.
That's not even the right story. Anyway, Feverblade.
I actually watched that the other night.
Thank you for the super chat. And for the rest of you, please spam the chat with which animal you would be from the Alice in Wonderland books, not from the Wizard of Oz. Though if you can't think of, well, then why I would be a flying monkey if I was going to choose. Okay. Flying monkeys are cool. They can fly and throw poop at the same time.
While I was watching that movie, I kept getting distracted by Toto. It didn't look like a movie-type trained dog. It looked terrified and confused throughout that entire movie.
I'm sure
and it was really distracting once I noticed it.
I'm sure it was terrified. Okay, so back to the things that you can do at AmericanMcGee.com to help support what we are working on here. Go and sign up for the mailing list. Go and follow me on all the social medias. Look, I even put my Instagram jigger in there.
Wow.
Yeah, so go click on those things. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these dying platforms. Make sure to smash like on YouTube.
Jib it up.
Jib it up. And then over on Patreon, that's where you can get access to all this kind of cool physical stuff and early access to art. And then, of course, we have a Discord server. I don't even know. It's what all the cool kids are doing. And you can get involved with our design discussions and help shape the direction of the next game and make sure that Jib it up is Alice's new catchphrase forever. Oh, and
isn't her new catchphrase "Get bent"?
Get bent
in a Victorian style.
I get bent.
Get bent, governor.
Governor.
Just as she scuttles off down an alleyway.
All right. Anyway, go do those things. Smash like, whatever. And now we're gonna roll it. B-Bats.
B-Bats.
You won a rabbit plush, which I would hold up, but Martin keeps taking it away from me. Make sure to send an email to mysterious@americanmcgee.com. Include your name, phone number, your mailing address. Do those things in a format which doesn't make it difficult for me to send your prize to you, and we will get a rabbit plush sent out. And for all of you who are winning or have won a rabbit plush, give me that today, please do us a favor. Once you get that, then put it up on your Instagram, your Facebook, your digital Bluetooth-enabled refrigerator. Spread the word about the cute little rabbit. Show people how cool it is, and send them over to Patreon so we can hit our goal.
Yes, everybody, regardless of whether you've won a rabbit or not, spread Patreon love.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get those numbers up.
Do the thing.
$1 a month until we hit the goal.
I even made a tier at $1 a month. All right. So Timothy J. Meow says, "Jib it up!
Jib it up!
Pickle Rick!" All right. That is, I think...
Are we done?
That is about it, guys, girls, and trans people.
Everything in between.
Who identify as whatever it is you want to identify. We're cool with that. We hope you all have a very wonderful day or night or whatever the time is wherever you are in the world. We will be back again next week with a design discussion on Discord and then another YouTube live stream later in the week. So
excellent.
Thank you all very much. You are all very loved and appreciated. Hope you have an excellent night, day.
See you next time.
Jib it up.
Jib it up.